past life regressions. You know what it means? What do you think past life regressions mean in the sense of how it applies to our lives today? For me, it is energy cannot be created nor destroyed, so it has to pass on. And from previous life, souls and experiences has to pass on. Information's in the universe. And today we have a very special guest on the show. He is doing amazing work when it comes to documentaries and filmography, capturing moments and capturing experiences and dealing with people with their professions and their experiences and putting it together in a documentary.
I want you all to close your eyes and imagine that they're really, really heavy.
I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and I would like you to go forward to perhaps one of the best adventures you've ever done. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Be there.
It felt like I was just a cloud and I was just floating.
I was walking amongst red flowers. It was magnificent.
I had such a sense of peace and quiet.
So I was like, oh, this is weird. And then I looked down and I was like down below myself.
It was the most amazing feeling. It was like, oh.
All of a sudden, everything got really bright, like white. And I felt my body just moving at such a speed. Like I was leaving the planet, the solar system, even this universe that we have, and going so far out.
This time that we're living in is the most heavily medicated, most anxious-ridden for humanity.
Everything you can think of, I've tried it, and it didn't work. I decided, no, let me give it a go, because I've got nothing left to lose. I'm just one appointment away of being hospitalised for a psych evaluation. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go.
Trauma is kind of a progressive condition. Very often, the initial sensitizing experience is not even in this current life a person is living in.
Almost impossible to really understand as a scientist. My college degree, everything is science. My brain is science. And the results I had, almost impossible for me to explain, but undoubtedly quite miraculous, yeah.
It's really fascinating what can be healed with this kind of work.
It's like a thunderclap, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime.
By going back in time, wisdom comes, understanding comes, forgiveness is possible if it's necessary.
Can you give me a minute?
I want you all to close your eyes and imagine that they're really, really heavy.
3, 2, 1. Be there.
I want to introduce you to William Collison. And William is doing a TV show. Name of the TV show, William?
Oh, it's an independent streaming platform called Elusis TV, where it's got documentaries on spiritual growth, consciousness, the mysteries of the world of life, and just all things that are just, mysterious and wonderful, and to help people spiritually grow and give them wisdom and, to find their truth.
Yeah. So we all are artists. We all express ourselves. We all have perspectives. And when it comes to the journey of spirituality and the journey of understanding past life regressions, it means that you need to be in tune with yourself. You need to actually be an artist first. We all are co-creators and artists. And William, I'd like you to give a bit of your background, why you went into what you went into, when your breaking points came and what it was, to make the audience understand nobody's perfect, but we find ourselves through experience.
Okay, well, so must I talk about how I got into this whole spiritual?
Yes, I want it to be flow off the cuff. How did you actually get into you first doing your own documentaries?
Okay, well,
Why?
I mean, I'm in the film industry, mainly doing cinematography on like feature films. You can see some of them on Netflix, on Showmax, on Amazon, even SABC. And I directed a few. I've actually got a film on Showmax called Mr. Johnson, which I wrote and directed. But those are all more like just kind of fiction, so and for entertainment and that. And I had with the whole spiritual thing where I went into making my own kind of these documentaries on kind of more esoteric things of esoteric philosophies and beliefs and more deeper underlying kind of things of who we are and why we're here. Was I had a drinking problem. I was an alcoholic, and it was affecting my work a lot. And but things I identified with my work so much, like I wanted to be the best cinematographer, I wanted to be the best director in the world, and the drinking thing was affecting it. I wasn't, I wasn't like performing at my full potential. And people also would stop working with me because like I was, not spantus or whatever. But I'm saying it because it's interesting is because I identified so much with the work that was my identity, and I saw that it was affecting it. So that's the reason why I stopped, which, and when I stopped and I went to rehab and this was like 10 years ago, and I've been sober for 10 years, but I came out of rehab and like, I couldn't find any meaning in life, like it was just like I was sober and nothing was really making me happy. I actually became very aware of my mortality, but because I had such a science background, but my whole upbringing was just that it's your consciousness is in your brain, and then when you die, that's it. Then it lights out, your tickets. So that really started affecting me. Yes. Because I thought, like, this is like, what's the point? Like, what's it really, really started making me upset because I just couldn't find any meaning in anything because I just found everything so pointless. Because
the motivation was gone because of all the pain and trauma.
So, but then it was so funny because I started like having this feeling that I was going to wake up. Like it was almost like I don't know if we want to call it a premonition or like it was just this like sensing that I was going to wake up, and it's just this feeling kept on bugging me over and over again. And the thing is, when you come out of rehab, you usually have a counselor that you see every week, so to see how your progress is doing or whatever. And I suddenly, because the thing is, when I thought, I kept on thinking, what am I going to wake up from? And I thought maybe I'm going to die, and that's what is going to happen. That's me waking up, like. And then I started having these feelings that, like, everything was an illusion, and then I was going to come out of it, and I was going to be like in this other world, like, and everything was, this experience was almost like a drug trip, and I'd come out of it, and so I was having all of these weird, like, ideas about why I felt like I was going to wake up. But then I went to my counselor, and I had the courage to say to her, like, I don't know I'm going crazy because I feel like I'm going to wake up from something, but I don't know what it is. And then she started saying to me, well, what's so bad about waking up? Like, what? And it started giving me such anxiety because I thought, oh my gosh, she's in on this thing. She's part of this. He's going to bring me out of it, and like it's part of this matrix. So I had like this nervous breakdown in the office. And then when I kind of got all right and I could speak again or whatever, all she could say was like, I think you should go to your psychiatrist and just maybe talk to her about some medication or something. It's like that's how the typical doctors and psychiatrists, psychologists, that's how they treat everything, is with pills. And
yes.
So, but it's funny then, because on the way home, I was driving on the way home, and I started having this intense deja vu. It was so intense that I started seeing how everything was connected. Like even the radio, the song that was playing on the radio, I saw how it was connected to everything I was seeing outside. It's like it felt,
it's synchronized,
and it was almost like everything was meant to be exactly what it was in the right moment, the right place. And it gave me this sense of such peace because everything just seemed perfect the way it was. And I mean, it seemed like it lasted for a while, but it must have been 15 seconds. And then I came out of that. And then I was like, no, now I am totally going crazy.
That's an amazing experience.
I've got to get to the psychiatrist as soon as possible.
You know why I say it's amazing what you went through? That is actually and it's prophesized, in order for you to be able to reach your optimal coherence and synchronicity with the universe, it's how you alchemize your pain and trauma. Now, to deal with it, your ego tends to stand up a lot. And I'm speaking about from my perspective, my experiences. I saw that the fear can go two ways. It can go to you being sad and you being nervous and you having anxiety, or it can go to you being aggressive, attacking and demolishing. So that the fear part of things can split you. And what I've learned was when you had no fear, you deal with both. You know that your anxiety comes from a place of pain and trauma, and you're afraid of it happening again. You're looped on it in the past. And the other side of it again, where you're very aggressive, you had no patience. So patience makes you again aggressive. It makes you get frustrated. You want things to go fast. So the experience that I went through in my spiritual awakening, the sound that you went through it as well, was similar to that. But I took my aggression. I came from the aggressive side again, and not the side where I went through the nervous system breakdown. I came from, how do I slow down and how do I become more in one with nature? And I think yours came from, you were tranquil and slow, and you might have experienced that you're not in coherence with the universe. And what the universe, in my opinion, does, it forces you into a direction. It brings these tests and all these experiences for you to be able to better yourself and not to work against you. Yeah, so I just wanted to add to what you're saying, because it's very significant what you went through. And that sparks the best in you. Once you alchemize it, you either die or you live. Now, if you die, you didn't choose the option to use it as a tool.
Yeah, that's like in the Rita Hayworth Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
It says, Morgan Freeman says, you either get busy living or you get busy dying.
Exactly, it's that. And we all have the same souls. My soul has no sex, no gender.
There's another famous play that the lady said, that one character, she said, I just want to live. I'm tired of just surviving. I want to live living. We want to be living surviving.
Exactly.
So that's
yeah. So we have similar backgrounds in the sense of, we came through the fire, we've burnt, but we've learned. And that's why with the IQ that we have, we connect on the EQ side, where we speak on respect and intellect. But how do we change communication to conversation is by having heart, mind, body coherence. Yeah, that's something I've learned from Canning as well.
So anyway, so then I thought I was going crazy. So I went to the psychiatrist. I forget which one gives you the pills, the psychologist or the psychiatrist. But anyway, the one that gives you the pills. And she just upped because I was already on all these antidepressant, anti-anxiety pills. So she just pushed it up to the max. And but the thing is, that experience was very significant, because then my daughter's mother, my girlfriend at the time, she was complaining that I was never present. I found that in like nearly every relationship, the woman says the man's not present. So yeah, I think it's just a universal thing.
Yeah, it's an IQ. But the man that runs on IQ, the woman that runs on EQ.
But anyway, so, and also like, what is present? Like, is it like, are you zooming in on every, like, because there's a fire in the background, you notice that, and you notice that, or are you aware of like your inside world, like all the emotions happening? So I think we also got a bit of I think society's also, because of also the spiritual thing where they say presence, like, I think we all get a bit confused what that, or we don't understand what it really means. But anyway, so then my girlfriend at the time, she's like, I'm not present, I must meditate. So obviously I'm, people pleaser, and also I want to save the relationship. So I think, okay, fine. And also we just had a baby. So I thought, this is great. I can just go sit in this room for like half an hour and just like do nothing. I don't have to deal with her or the baby. And like, but I was taking it seriously, like I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to meditate, I'm going to do it seriously. So it was half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. And but now being an addict, it's not like I can't just go to the bar and just have a beer. Yeah, I want the straw rum. I want so like now with this meditation, I don't want just a little mindful like sitting.
Yeah, you're an extremist like I am. If we do something, we do it extreme.
Yeah.
If we go for flavor, go for big flavor. If we drink properly. If we smoke properly. But those are, for me, sorry to interject. So how the solar system works, when you have pulses in the universe, pulses are old stars, and the remnants of the star, it pulses and gives off radiation all the time. So if you look at the peaks, So our emotions work the same. That's why we have yin yang, black white. So yeah, sorry, I just wanted to put that in here.
Yeah.
I love your story. I can relate.
Yeah. So there was no. So yeah, I'm going to do this meditation thing. I got to do it 100%. So I went online, I started researching all the meditations. I wanted to do the third eye Kundalini like explosion. So I found this one, and I got the binaural beats and everything. And I'm doing this like third eye meditation, but religiously, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. It was almost like an escape because I could just sit there and just concentrate on this thing and not have it to worry about. But baby, the failing relationship, like all my whole life and my whatever. And I doing that, and I mean, after about 3 months of doing that every day, I started like vibrating viciously, and then I started swaying, and then, I mean, like all of this other kind of stuff. That's when the journey really started, and I started realizing certain things, and I had a few precognition like experiences, which was quite exciting. But then the precognition thing was really exciting because I could ask like, what am I going to see tomorrow? I'll see certain elements, and but then again, that's addict side of me, I just was like, I want more. So then I started wanting to do out of body experiences, and I was just chasing experiences, and then everything stopped and it just went away. But and I know they say that in this spiritual things, like if you're chasing something too much, it's like you're pushing it away. You got to let it happen. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is that I realized that I'm not like my body or my mind. I'm not. There's something bigger than me. There's something greater than me.
Yeah.
And which, as I said earlier, I identified so much with my job. And it's funny, like I stopped the drinking to save my job, but instead of saving myself, you know what I mean? Like usually people, when they stop drinking, they're trying to save like their selves and their relationships. I did it for very selfish, like, because my ego. I did it for my ego.
Yes.
But then with the meditation, that it's kind of like the ego started dissolving, and I actually didn't care anymore about my work. Now, not to the state that I just...
But that happens. It happened to me as well. As soon as the ego dissolves, life becomes boring. Because what is the ego? The ego comes from the free will. We all have free will, and it builds the ego, and we all have customized egos to what we enjoy. So when you tame the ego, the devil's dance floor is not available anymore. But as soon as you integrate the ego, then you can have fun in a responsible way. Yeah. So patience is one of it. Having compassion is another thing. Having honesty is the main thing. You can't have dishonest code. You know, if you have dishonest code on a computer, the operating system won't work. We are all apps ourselves. We have our own model and principle and perspectives, and how we interact with each other, and how we connect with the universe and sync to universal law of equality, honesty, and unconditional love. Those models and principles make it easier for you to see what you saw and what we saw. How the universe will give you signs when you're an honest person, when you slow down. Thank you, there's a sign. You had the dog bark. You know, spirituality works in mysterious ways because everything exists in the ether. I love your story. And how did you overcome it?
So then when I started like finding myself, I mean, I still feel like I'm finding myself. It's not like I'm totally, but it's a lot better. Like my ego dissolved, so I stopped caring so much about my work stuff, which actually helped me even get better at my work, because the anxiety of getting it right so much and having to try so hard went away, and I could actually enjoy it more, which actually sold things better and made it a lot more pleasant, and me a lot more pleasant as a human being, because I wasn't so stressed anymore.
Yes.
But as well as that, because I started noticing that we're not just this flesh and bones, and there's something greater than us, that I started, my connection with my family started getting so much better, and with my daughter, and I started, trying to do more outdoors things, more healthy things, eating more healthy. So like there are a lot of great benefits that happen, but also just my curiosity into this other world, like, because my whole belief system kind of was shattered, and I started just really finding it quite sad, like how everyone has been taught to just think a certain way.
Yeah.
And so I started trying to find answers myself, and because I was a filmmaker, I started going out there and started to film things I was interested in, trying to find answers myself. So I would just go out and start interviewing as many people as possible about certain topics, like past life regression therapy. Which people, if they don't know what past life regression therapy is you get hypnotized, and they take you into a past life. If there's something that's troubling you in this life and you don't know what it is, like say you got a fear of water or spiders or fire, and you don't know what it is, or anxiety about driving, whatever it is, and then you've gone to all of the normal roots of this our materialistic kind of a way of healing, and nothing works, and you've even taken all the meds that they're giving you and it doesn't work, then if you go to past life, just say if you're scared of driving or whatever, and then maybe you go into a past life and you were like maybe you were in a carriage and you were and somebody ambushed you and took out the carriage, and your horses died or whatever, and your whole family died in that carriage, then you can see it from like a non-judgmental mind, because I mean the thing is you carry that trauma with you through the different your different lives if it hasn't been resolved in that life. So you can see it when they hypnotize you and they take you back into that past life. You can see it from a non-judgmental point of view, and you release that trauma. Then you'll find, oh, now I'm not scared of driving anymore. That was the root cause.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing was, and also you say that in the documentary, because I interviewed Ashley in the documentary, because he came from the scientific side on the documentary, because it was all a lot of just the therapists and people and their amazing stories of how they healed using this kind of modality.
Journey of past life regression, the journey of reincarnation. That is a great topic to have, especially me being a scientist. When you have these past life thoughts, it could be your energy that carried it over from those past lives, but it could be in your DNA as well. We don't know. So your ancestors, you have different tribes in your ancestors, and they all have memories. So by the time your DNA came from the flower of life, or it came from the branch, your family tree, you have information passed on from your other ancestors. Information can get passed down to you from a DNA perspective, but that DNA, if you are purged and you live properly, will become more spiritual in the sense that you will remember things through that code.
And as you were saying, that there was a study of mice. So the mice would be in a cage. They would shock the cage, but they would spray a poppy flower seed smell on, or no, poppy flowers scent on the cage. And then when they sprayed the scent afterwards, even when they weren't shocking the cage, the mice, because they would remember the shock from the smell, they would freak out, even though the shock wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And then 3 generations of pups, of the babies of that mice afterwards, when they sprayed that scent on the cage, those mice would freak out. So it held the memory.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very interesting, because we're trying to explain this, and there's no actually way of there's no way to really prove it, because we don't have the tools and science and that to.
But the way you brought it together is amazing. You brought science together with hypnotherapy and being a visionary. I want you all please to check out the documentary. I'm gonna leave details on it, your social media pages and information on William. You can see the quality of his work. If you want to book him, if he's open for bookings and stuff, for consultation, I mean, that's your business. Yes, yeah. I'll leave it in the at the end of the episode, and if you can please check out his documentary, it's amazing. Past life regression, exactly what we're talking about right now.
Yes. So yeah, so that you can get the link to that. I think it would be great if people could go there. And anyway, so I just went on this journey filming as many people, and I started making all these documentaries, and it's just become my absolute passion in life. And I found like a new thing that I feel that's I have a purpose, and just brings me great joy and satisfaction. And it's also just so stimulating to listen to these people and hear their stories and bring the stories to everyone else together. Yeah.
And you look very calm, and I know with me as well. When your nervous system is regulated and in your passion, you have less doubt, you have less anxiety and regret, because you're enjoying what you're doing. And you also become more calm, you slow down, then you start seeing more signs in the universe, because we tend to speed up, and when our minds run fast, we run past opportunities we don't even see and hear. Your awareness goes down. But now in life, what I've learned was you need to focus and live in the now, but there are moments that you need to plan ahead too. So like the brain, the right side of the brain is more masculine drive, it's the IQ. The left side of the brain handles more the emotion side of things, feminine. So if you balance your masculine and feminine, because you have genetics from your mother and your father, and hence in the episode, the documentary we done, I spoke about also the genetics being passed down. You can also see, that most humans have 90% plant DNA. I mean, all humans, have 90% plant DNA, and the 10% variance make you human. So if you look at the ancestor and how everything evolved over time, how species are closely related from a DNA perspective, but also from a family tree perspective. that information being passed on is part of the past life regression. As above, so below. As within, so without. The law of correspondence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I also enjoy esoteric knowledge, and I think that's what brings us together.
Yes, I really enjoyed you in the documentary, so thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you for considering me. It's an honor.
And I hope everyone gets to watch it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to cover?
I don't think that's it. Eh?
That's good. So we have Orion again on the show. Orion, please, can you give us your summary? And then afterwards, I want your opinion. Take your time, speak slow and loud, please.
Absolutely. I love to give that summary. So in a nutshell, you both had a really deep and fascinating conversation. You started off talking about past life regressions and how that ties into spirituality and how energy is never really destroyed, just carrying on. And then William, you shared your journey from being really immersed in filmmaking and dealing with personal struggles, even addiction, and then moving into this whole spiritual awakening where you kind of found a deeper sense of self and purpose. And Ashley, you kind of tied that into how we balance our ego, how we integrate these experiences, and how we learn to live more authentically and in the present moment. So it was a really rich discussion about how the journey of self-discovery and spirituality just ties into everything you're doing. And it's really fascinating to listen to. And my opinion is, honestly, you guys brought a lot of wisdom to the table. It's super inspiring to hear how you both navigated that and how it ties into the documentary work. So great job. I'm excited to be part of it.
Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate you. Can you say goodbye to all?
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me on, and goodbye to everyone listening. Take care.
Thank you, William.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.